One of the beautiful things about the arts is whether you are a poet, a photographer, a writer, or a painter, there are these moments that you come across that sometimes you're capturing or creating that can be incredibly moving or meaningful. As a painter myself, I struggle every day internally and externally, trying to find these moments in my work, trying to have something to say. And for the most part, when my brush begins running along the empty white canvas, I'm not sure if it's going to ever happen. Over the past few years, I've been finding it incredibly difficult to define my artistic practice. And I just feel like I've been really inconsistent, constantly stuck in the flow of other artists' currents. I've never really grounded myself in my own artistic home. Recently, that's started to change. What was once filled with painfully obvious references, a plastic Instagram aesthetic, and copied techniques that left no room for my own gesture, my work has finally begun to take a step in its own direction. Now, I can't emphasize enough the importance of looking at other artists and, of course, sometimes copying them for learning purposes, stealing from them, and, of course, being inspired from them. But there comes a point where you go through this process of collection and you have this massive collection or really refined collection of artists that you absolutely love or references that you're constantly going to. And you need to break out of the kind of copying mode or the mode in which all of that is restricting you. You really need to just take a step back and let it go, as Wim Hof might say. Now, at first, I have to admit this is really difficult, especially when you don't have maybe drawing skills or foundational skills, which, to be honest, I haven't really had. Because you step away and then you're oh, it's just me now. And you have remnants of maybe the things that you've copied and referenced in the past. But now you have to start working with your memory, what you remember from them, and not having this kind of direct form of copying or working from those references that you've been looking at. And what it results in is something far more organic than maybe what you were doing before. And I know that the idea of drawing from imagination or using parts of imagination in your work, even if you are, say, drawing from observation or using some form of reference, is a torturous idea to many people, and I get that. I was in that position, but that's okay. It took me a year of basically full-time drawing to get even a glimpse of who I might be as an artist and how to express my own kind of imagery. But it's just such a painful joy when it starts to click. I've been painting actually for more than 10 years now, and it's only maybe over the past month or two where I've felt like I've been developing work which is actually mine. All before that, it's just been this constant chase of who I want to be as a painter, but just chasing the stories of other artists. For those longing to have a personal artistic practice of their own, who are not bound by maybe the love of Van Gogh's paintings or the love of Pierre Bonnard's paintings like myself, or some artistic genius who you genuinely admire, but who is keeping you in this kind of just creating boundaries, I have some advice. And to be honest, that advice is just really looking inwards and asking yourself what you're truly interested in when it comes to your actual personal life. Only then are you going to be able to start finding a story that you want to tell and then understanding how to visually represent that story. I know it sounds like a painfully obvious point. Oh yeah, you just need to look inside so then it's going to come out externally. It's yeah, I get it. It sounds obvious, but for myself, I was rejecting so much of what I was interested in because I felt like it didn't fit this box that I'd created of maybe the art market or what is fine art practice, with me being an oil painter. And when you reject all of that, it's kind of what's left, and then you go searching for maybe what other people did in the past because they fit that box that you've created, when in reality you shouldn't be putting boundaries on yourself and just going with what you are interested in, because that's how the market evolves. And there's so much freedom in contemporary art. Like, you don't have to put yourself inside of a box. Just do your own thing. That's how you're gonna create genuine work that is moving. I really think so. And you know, you can become a commercial painter and go down that route and create work for Instagram aesthetics or social media aesthetics, but I wouldn't call that being an artist. I feel like those people are kind of printers, and call me judgmental, but if that's what you want to do, you want to do that. But I don't want to do that. And just to give maybe a little bit of context for what footage that you're seeing now, it's like the imagery that I'm creating now references things ranging anywhere from like manga ideas and things I've been exploring when it comes to dreams and lucid dreaming, even like the supernatural and stories about cryptids and mythological creatures and stuff like that. And yeah, of course, like myth has a lot of relation to art and the visual arts, but there are many aspects of these interests that I had that I just was completely not looking at and rejecting when it came to my practice. And I feel like everything I was just doing before just didn't have anything to do with me. And now what I'm doing has something to do with me, and it's developing my work so much quicker than the route I was taking before. To put it simply, you're not going to find your own story by copying other people's stories. And I know it's very easy to get stuck in that system because, as I said, I feel like that's what I've been stuck in over the past decade. And yes, by copying, you can learn about whether it be like color, composition, technique, all of these important things. And I do think it's important to look at those things. But as I said, once you've done a certain amount of collecting, kind of got to a certain skill level, you really need to start expressing your own voice. And to do that, I've found very, very difficult, because when it came to especially like the imaginative side of things, I was just like failing and failing and failing and failing again. And it's really hard to have that kind of a personal drive when you're like failing so much. But all I can say is once things start to click, it's so invigorating when you finally work something out and it's like, okay, this is kind of my thing and I'm gonna push this now. I think the pursuit of, I don't know, whatever that is worth it. I don't really know why I paint, but I know I need to paint. Just keep coming back to it. So with that, thank you all for watching. I actually have a show coming up in December, so put December the 6th into your calendars, because we have a open studios show, which we will be showing paintings alongside all of my stupidly talented cohort, my classmates. They have amazing work, and also a gallery show in Shoreditch at the Royal Drawing School. That will also be opening, I believe, on the 6th of December. So early December, couple weeks, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Put the dates in your diary, and I hope to see you all there. And here is my awkward goodbye.